My teacher used to say that clarity and confusion exist right in front of us at any given moment. You know, it's like, and that it's up to us to choose which of these we access. You know, do we choose the clear mind or we choose the confused mind? They're both right here, you know. And really, trusting yourself and self-doubt are the same way. They're both possibilities at any given moment, you know. So it's really a choice. Do we choose to trust ourselves or do we choose, you know, to doubt ourselves? You know, so trusting your heart and trusting yourself is ultimately a choice. You know, we think it's an issue. We think we have this issue of doubting yourself. It's really a choice. So sure, you know, it takes a little practice to discern the difference between the two. So you get a free choice, a clear choice. But most of the time when we doubt ourselves, you know, we had the ability to trust ourselves and to go with what our heart's telling us to do, but we choose not to. So why would we do such a thing? I mean, why would we choose self-doubt over trusting ourselves when we get a choice? It doesn't really make much sense. And I think the reason is it takes a lot of courage to trust your heart, you know, and to trust your intuition and to act on it, even when it's going kind of against the grain of what we might make sense to do in a given situation. You know, it takes a willingness to risk and kind of put yourself out there. I mean, what if you're wrong? I mean, what if you hurt someone's feelings? What if you aren't translating it correctly or if it's not totally right? I mean, it takes a lot of courage to act on that. I mean, after all, you know, our gut feeling, our intuition is often not in line with our intellect anyway. It seems a little off often by its very nature. So to act, it's kind of radical to do this kind of off the wall thing. It's often or feels like it's out of context. It doesn't make sense to our head. We're like, why would I say that? So it takes a lot of courage. So ultimately, choosing doubting yourself over trusting yourself kind of gives us a pass, right? I mean, it's like then we don't have to take responsibility for acting on our gut feeling, you know, and that feeling, it often, the thing that comes to us is often pretty honest, right? It's usually this no bullshit, here it is kind of response. And that takes a lot of courage to speak your truth, you know, kind of your raw, kind of unedited truth and just to kind of lay it out there. It takes a lot of courage, you know, and inevitably we feel vulnerable, right? We kind of feel exposed because we're not hiding how we feel. We're not hiding our truth. We're just kind of laying it out there for people to see. You know, they're going to see how we are, how we feel, and they're going to see, you know, our creative new idea. You know, it kind of feels rather raw, you know, and exposed. So there we are. We're like right on the precipice. We're right on the edge between trusting ourselves and doubting ourselves. It's like, which do I go? I can see convincing arguments for both, you know, and this is happening fast too, by the way. You know, and right about that time is when your inner self-doubt lays out some really convincing arguments, you know, that how the thing you're going to trust, it might not be right. It's like, what if this and what if that? And the stakes are high. If it's not right, you know, it's really going to make some people uncomfortable or it might hurt someone's feelings. So it's much better to kind of just keep that to yourselves. Doubt yourself. That way you don't hurt anyone. But the thing is, you know, there's a really high cost when we doubt ourselves, you know, and it affects the world. You know, the world loses when you don't speak your truth, you know. It's like the world needs you to speak your truth and to lay it on the line, you know, and to trust yourself to act on what comes to you. I mean, it brings kind of sanity into a crazy world. It brings back to clarity. It brings clarity into a really confused world, you know? So I say, you know, what the hell? let it rip, easy for me to say, but let it rip, kind of let the chips fall where they need to, and speak your truth and trust yourself. The world will be a better place. Ultimately, your friends will appreciate you in the long run, hopefully. But either way, you made the world a better place. So anyway, that is my video for this week. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an awesome week and that you have the courage to trust yourself and act and speak your truth. And anyway, I will see you in a week.